I hope you're good. So I'm feeling very autumnal today, which I absolutely love decorating things, as you can tell by the shelves on the back. So at the weekend, we had a potion party. Not a random potion party, it was my children's birthday party. Here are some awesome photos, and I got loads of potion bottles and lots of colourful potion. But that's what's inspired this week's video, as I absolutely loved the shapes and the really cool potion bottles that I managed to find. I mean, Team U's great. So we are going to put characters and worlds inside of these, because why not? So let's do it, let's get sketching, and for that I'm going to need my trusty iPad and my Apple Pencil. And let's see what we can put inside a potion bottle, other than potion obviously. Let's do it. So we all know by now that I use shapes to start off a lot of my artwork, and this has particularly come in handy where potion bottles are concerned. This is because depending on the shape of the potion bottle, it will determine what we can put inside of it, really. I always start off with a really rough sketch because I think it's really important to get the placement and the layout and the design of everything you want in the right place, and then I will go in afterwards and fill in more of the details, but generally I leave the background sort of really messy, but the character I do go in and do the details because then it makes it easier to colour later. So now we've got our sketch, I think it's time to try different colours, and I absolutely love autumnal colour palettes and Halloweeny colour palettes, but I don't want to go too Halloweeny just yet. But I am going to be doing a witchy potion video kind of in a few weeks for Halloween. So I'm going to kind of pick an autumnal touch upon the magical feelings, but these are some awesome colour palettes which I absolutely love, so screenshot these if you then want to use them. Yeah, I think we're going to try a couple and just see what works, and for this I'm going to do some colour roughs and just then get straight into colouring because I cannot wait to colour this. I mean, a little world inside a potion bottle. I mean, that's so cool. I mean, maybe you could actually build one out of polymer clay and then put it in. Oh my goodness, that's definitely an idea for a video, but that would be so hard. I mean, I've only ever used polymer clay once, so if you want to check out that video, I'll pop the link down below. But yeah, that would be so cool. Imagine if you got you can get big potion bottles, can't you? I mean, Google, you can probably get anything really, can't you? So let's get colouring and see what we can come up with. So I originally tried this colour palette that I have across the top because I have a rule where whatever colour palette that I'm using, I do need to leave it on the screen. It just makes life so much easier. It's exactly how you would use a traditional colour palette, like you have your palette with all your paints in and you dip into it. It's the same principle, but just digitally really, and it's kind of a rule I live by. I found this colour palette quite tricky to figure out, so I decided to mix two because when you can't pick one, you might as well have them both. And these colour palettes do actually go well together, so I figured it was a good compromise, really. When I had finally decided on the colour palette, which, believe me, even though this is sped up, it took a long time, I decided to have a bit of an experiment, you know, because of course when you're on a deadline and you need to get a video out, why not make things twice as difficult for yourself and try something new? So yeah, basically however this turns out is how this video is going up, whether I like it or not. But anyway, what I decided to do was to take out kind of the flesh colour. Basically it was getting too colourful, where I decided to use the two colour palettes and everything. I thought I needed to take it back a bit, and I don't know why, I just thought it looked kind of nice. And I also decided not to use my default brushes, basically the ones I always go to and I rely on. I thought I'm going to use anything, but obviously still stay within my comfort zone because these are the characters I love to draw. But the rule I gave myself was to use lots of different brushes, as many as I could. So a lot of this video is me clicking through different brushes, trying it, and then going back to a different one because I didn't like it. But, you know, trial and error. It is definitely a trust the process kind of process. So apparently I don't like to press record sometimes, and that's why she's magically got a hat on, although, it fits. She's a witch and she's magic. Anyway, this is a really good example of me just trying different brushes just to create different textures. I'm still using what I like to do and the way I like to work by laying down colour first and then kind of, for lack of a better word, scribble on top. But I'm just trying new brushes and just to get some new textures in there, really. And I have got to say, discovering new brushes and having a bit of an experiment has been really fun and refreshing. I definitely have gravitated towards the gouache brush a lot. And if you didn't know already, at uni, basically my whole degree I did using gouache and then with scribbling pencils on top, which does show how I work now, even though it's digital. So the skills are definitely transferable. I also tried to keep the witch herself quite simple because the environment was going to be really colourful and bright, and now I absolutely love drawing witches. Here are a few that I have done recently and also a long time ago. I just think witches can be so fun because, let's face it, witches are magical, and in illustration anything is possible and you can draw anything and you can just have fun with it and enjoy the process when you're drawing a witch. I mean, they can do anything. So the picture itself doesn't have to make too much sense, which is so much fun. I mean, I am drawing a potion bottle as a watering can. So as this witch is kind of in her potion bottle greenhouse type of thing, I mean terrarium, terrarium, is that the word I'm thinking of? Yep, it appears it is, because here's some pictures that I have just found, and aren't they cute? They've got kind of all the greenery and they kind of make their own environment. But anyway, they are traditionally glass, so it was kind of, how am I going to translate glass to this illustration? And I settled for just doing a kind of rough but soft outline because I didn't want to put that really harsh line around the outside that I definitely save for my fiction work. So I just stuck to my soft kind of scribbly children's book style and went with it. And this I also use for the items inside. But again, I did use my base colours, and these were just a mixture of brushes of any one that I picked and anyone that I kind of thought would look nice at the time. And there was a lot of trial and error just to see what these brushes kind of did and how they worked, because most of them I haven't actually used for a while. I definitely just found one I liked and then I just kept using it. So it was just really fun to see what they all could do and to see how maybe I could use them in the future, but using this as almost a practice experimentation piece. Taking that extra bit of time and trying these new brushes, I've definitely found some that I would love to use again, and this will help sort of me develop my work and my portfolio further. I'm not gonna lie, I was actually really afraid of how this was gonna turn out because it was all a kind of winging it approach, but I actually had so much fun doing it, and I think it's turning out okay considering it's a very different way of kind of planning out a piece of work. It's amazing how much you actually have to consider where the white bits are going and what areas you are going to leave out and leave more kind of not so detailed. But I do think this definitely balances out the bits that are really detailed and that I've kind of gone over the top with. So it really does go to show that the negative space is just as important as the bits that you're colouring. you can see, I still really did keep to kind of my aesthetic really, and my style of scribbling over the top, just because, let's face it, I'm a creature of habit. And I still really like how it looks really energetic and it kind of brings the picture to life. You know, let's face it, they're scribbles, but they're kind of planned scribbles. So does that make them less scribbly? Who knows? It was also at this point that I realised that the cat's face, the cat plant, the plant that's grown a cat, who knows? Anyway, the cat's face was too dark, so I just went in with a lighter colour from the colour palette, and I do think this works better. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I liked it before looking at it now. In my opinion, a picture book illustration about a witch wouldn't be complete without kind of the magical and whimsical detail. I mean, if you look back at some picture book illustrations, some are really well known and some I just really love. They all kind of have that thing that makes them witchy, if that sort of makes sense. I mean, some have used stars and some have obviously used the broom and the fact that they're flying. I mean, they look magical. I have to say though, I am a sucker for all the little dots and the kind of magic trails that some of them use. I mean, you can tell by the way I draw and the amount of stars and magical dots I put in, but this is why, just because I think it makes it look more magical. After I completed basically the illustration, I remembered that the bottle needed a cork on it because, let's face it, the corks on the top of the bottles are actually really cute, and I do think that this is what makes them somewhat iconic. Or maybe that's just me who looks at a bottle with a cork in and goes, oh, that's cute, that's a potion bottle. But I definitely thought it had to look just as magical as the bottle, so I included lots of colours and some magical stars for good measure. Thank you guys so much for watching. I cannot believe we used these and came up with this. It just goes to show you can find inspiration from anywhere. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye. I suppose I'm off to have a very colourful bubble bath now. I mean, I do have absolutely loads. So if I'm a funny colour next week, you know why. Anyway. Here's a video YouTube thinks you'll like, and here's a video that I think you'll like. Bye.